Okay, hopefully we are live. Let's just do a quick tech check and see. Let's have a quick look. Oh, yeah, looks like we are. Brilliant. Okay. Let's just get that up. There we go. Lovely. Okay. Oh, brilliant. And we've got a couple of people joining us. Wonderful. If you're just joining us now, then that's fantastic. And please say hi in the chat because we are live, so that would be lovely. Oh, numbers soaring. That's wonderful. Good. Hi, Sally. Oh, Sally, this has got to be a first. You found us straight away. Hi, Liz. How's everybody today? Staying dry and out of the rain? It's been a bit of a miserable day here. I don't know about where you are. It started out looking so good and it quickly deteriorated. Hi, Sheena. I'm sorry I missed you today when you popped round. It's been one of those running around like a headless chicken kind of days today. Hi, Marion. And I think Audrey must be on here somewhere as well. Hi, Audrey. Yeah. Brilliant. Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome. So for those of you who are watching on the replay, hi Dee. Welcome to the replay as well. I know there are quite a few people who can't make it live tonight, so there's going to be quite a few on the replay. This is April's monthly card club for 2023. And we're going to be using the Fancy Flora suite tonight from this catalogue, the mini catalogue. This is the suite we're going to be using. It's on pages 14 and 15 of the mini catalogue. So before we get started, just welcome to anybody new who's joining us as well. I know there's a couple of people who got Card Club free this month for placing an order, qualifying order. So if you place an order of £35 or more during the month leading up to the booking of Card Club, then you get this club free. So if you're joining me for the first time for your order, then you're really welcome, and it's lovely to have some new people joining us. So what we're going to do, if you've not joined us before, the format is that we have 4 different projects to make, all of which you've got components for in your kit that I sent you in the post. There's lots of little bits, so do be careful when you open them. And we will make them step by step. Some of them we'll make in their entirety, some of them I'll get you to kind of, there'll be a logical point where we'll stop and then I'll say, okay, you can finish those off in your own time. It'd be things like adding sentiments and duplicate cards and things like that. But yeah, we'll make them as much as we can tonight, step by step. I will wait and make sure that you're caught up with me and ask you to use your thumbs up button if you can, to tell me that you're at the same point as me and you're ready to move on, things like that. Okay, if anybody incidentally misses Card Club and wants to catch up on the replay, if you struggle with Facebook and you can't kind of find the session that you're looking for, then you can always go to my YouTube channel, Papercraft with Jenny, and you can find all of the card clubs on YouTube, and they've got a kind of a heading slide at the beginning, so you can work out which month it is and what suite it is that we're using and things. So if you ever get stuck, then don't hesitate to go back to YouTube. Might be just a bit more manageable than Facebook for some people. Okie dokie. Okay, so start off with, I have a confession to make. Always good to start on getting stuff off my chest. So I promised you a bonus card. Sometimes I get so many ideas, I don't know what to do with them. So sometimes, no, coffee clubs are not on there, Sally, I'm afraid, because they're not recorded. So they are Zoom in person or Zoom in person here at my house, or the step-by-step instructions that I send you. Anyway, back to my confession. Yeah, I usually get so many ideas, I don't really know what to do with them, and picking out the projects that I then share at card clubs and coffee clubs and stuff is a bit of a challenge for me. So sometimes in a month I will produce a bonus project for you. It's often when you've got lots of product in your kit, like this month, you will probably have too much product. And so it gives you something else to do with what you've got with your leftovers, if you like. Sometimes it's kind of a step up in technique, if you like. So it's something a little bit more challenging, something a bit different. And this month is no different. I have got a lovely fancy fold for you to do. However, I will show you the fancy fold. This is the front of the fancy fold. And ready? Ta-da-da! This is the inside of the fancy fold. So it's like a floating panel card. It's really lovely. I haven't got any sentiments on mine yet at all. So, so I have made my sample. I've got all the measurements ready, good to go. And I've even cut out all the individual pieces as well. But I just haven't had time to film it. So I apologise for that. I hopefully will get round to filming it on Monday, I would hope. Probably Monday afternoon. So yeah, I hope it will be uploaded quick smart next week, but I apologise ahead of time for those of you who go straight from here and hop on to the bonus project. I'm afraid this month you won't be able to do that. You just have to just be a little bit patient. So I apologise. It's just been a rather busy month this month. Can't quite believe that we're at the end of April already. I don't really know where this month's gone. Anyway, so that's the bonus card. For anybody who's watching on catch up from Stamford in the Vale, or anyone who is on here already from Stamford in the Vale, I've got your coffee club kits ready for collection as well. So if someone wants to drop me a text or something to say who's coming over, that would be great. As you know, we're coming up to the very end of the Stampin' Up catalogue year. So this month, at the end of this month, both the catalogues, the big annual catalogue and the mini that we're using products from tonight, will both finish. So if you have missed it, I don't know how you have missed it because I've been pushing it loads, and I know lots of you are loving it because I'm getting lots of orders in. But there is a huge sale on at the moment, up to 60% off anything that is not going to carry on into the next annual catalogue. The annual catalogue then comes out and will be available from Tuesday next week. And I will show you the front cover at the end of tonight. That's where all the new colours are, loads of new products, all very exciting. Hi Jodie, hiya. So yeah, I'll share that with you at the end. But just something for you to think about as we're crafting tonight as well. I've got advertised at the moment my usual kind of annual catalogue launch party. Which is for Saturday the 13th of May. And at the moment, loads of people have told me that that isn't a good date for them. I know May is really busy with all the bank holidays and everything. And I'm just wondering actually whether instead of doing my usual in person, whether I do something online instead, whether that be easy and then you can watch it when you are free. My only slight reason for not wanting to do that is because I also have my annual buy one get one free sale of retired product, and obviously I've got, well, you can probably see from my shelves behind me, it's looking a little bit more sparse than normal. And let me just count my stamp sets that I've got left. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got 14 stamp sets left. Everything else is gone, and normally I've got about 30 plus on the go from the catalogue. So I've got loads of product that I'd like to sell and get rid of, and that's my only reason at the moment for kind of holding off. So if you are coming, would like to come on the 13th of May in the morning, it's a Saturday, please can you let me know, because if I've got lots of people who say they want to come, then that's fine. I'm more than happy to run it, and then I might do something recorded for those of you who can't make it. But if I've only got kind of 1 or 2 people coming, then there's no point in me getting everything out, pricing everything up, laying it all out, and setting projects and stuff. Might be just easier to do something online for everybody. So yeah, so just something to think about while we're crafting tonight. Right, that's enough chat. Let's get on with the project, shall we? Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around, and then I'm going to do something which I don't normally do, and that is show you all of the completed projects first. I know you've got photos of them, but I just thought we just need to think about how we choose the colours before we start, to make sure that you've got enough the colour you want for each of the projects. So just turn the camera around a moment. You're about to say a quick hello to Evelyn on the way. There she is. Hello, Evelyn. Okay, let's get some lights on the subject as well. There we go, that's better. Okay, so let me find the projects. Here we go. So project number 1 is actually a set of 4 cards. So, and that's what all your butterflies are for. So this is just a little set of 4 cards. Now, everybody's going to have different patterns of paper and different colours of cardstock to match as well. So if you haven't got what's on the table in front of me now, then don't worry, you will have something else coordinating. And you will have a few butterflies of different colours. But feel free to add to the butterflies that I've put on here if you want to add sentiments, if you want to add. I've got some random kind of bling that I just found in my kit, in my stash. So do feel free to add some bling out of your own stuff. If you want to add more butterflies of your own, maybe you've got punched or die cut butterflies or flowers or anything like that, feel free to go mad and add whatever embellishments you want. But that's going to be project 1, is the suite of 4 cards. Project number 2 is, that's not what I want to share with you at the moment. No, just that one. Right. Project number 2, you won't have the same colours as me, but that's fine. You will have something. You've got the way to find matching card for this project is that you will have a die cut intricate die. Yes, they are from the Butterfly Brilliance. Hi, Helen. Yes, they are from Butterfly Brilliance, Sally, and that set is retiring actually instantly. Anyway, this die, you will have a piece of the patterned paper from the Fancy Flora suite that's been cut out with the die. And first of all, you need to decide which side of the paper you want to show, and then you'll need to find a piece of matching cardstock from your kit that goes with that as well. And then the final project is actually kind of the final 2 projects are kind of a twin, so they go together, and that's why I'm going to show them together. And that is these 2. Let me just get these other ones out of the way for a minute. So you can see them in a bit better focus. So they're kind of matching, only kind of not. And this is the technique that we're going to have a go at tonight, which is a blending brush technique. So if you haven't got your blending brush out yet, that's one of these, or a sponge dauber, or a sponge, or a bit of tissue paper, or whatever that you normally would use for blending. Then you need to get that out right now. But you will have a white piece of die cut patterned card in your kit, and then you'll also have you want to try and find obviously a piece of card that will kind of coordinate with whatever die colours you decide to use to colour this in with. Okay, so you've got a set of 4. Let's get the 4 together. Set of 4. You've got 2 that kind of, you're going to need the same colour card for the background probably for this pair, would make sense. And then you've got 1 on its own where you need to match the card, or you need to coordinate the card with the patterned paper die cut. Okay, so it's worth kind of spending a bit of time working out what card from your stash you're going to use with which of the projects first. So I'll show you what I've got, and then I'll be able to work out what I'm going to do, and hopefully you'll see what I mean. So for me, the inks that I'm going to use match with this colour cardstock, which is Orchid Oasis. So I am going to use that card for those 2. That piece of card for those 2, because 1 piece of A4 will give you 2 card bases. Okay, so I'm going to use that one. So I'm going to put that one out of the way so I know that is what I'm using it for. I'm saving it for that. I'm not going to use it for anything else. And then let me find my piece of patterned die cut paper. Let's get all the other bits out. So I've got a white piece, that's fine. There we go, there's my patterned piece of die cut paper. So I think for that one, so that's for this one, I think for this one, oh, look at that, that's quite pretty on the back, isn't it? Green. So I could either choose the Daffodil Delight, the yellow, or the Evening Evergreen. I quite like the Evening Evergreen. I think I'm going to go with that one, and then probably a bit of, maybe I might use the Evening Evergreen, I think, for the layer. And then I think I might use a piece of the Daffodil Delight, the yellow, for the card base. So I'm going to put those ones to one side. And that leaves me with the pale blue, the Pool Party, I think this is. Is it Pool Party? No, it's not. It's Balmy Blue. The Balmy Blue for 2 out of the 4 of these cards. So that's where I'm going to start. So I'll just give you a few minutes to kind of sort out your card and decide what colours are going to go with what, you know, what you're going to use, what patterns you're going to use for what. You will also have a stack of papers as well, patterned papers. So now is also a good time to work out what patterns you want to put on your card. So I really like that one, that goes really nice together. So use that one, I think. And what else have I got here that I quite like? I might use that one, I think goes on a, does that one go on a blue background? Or would I use that one? No, maybe I'll have that one instead for a blue background. Well, maybe I'll change my mind again even. Maybe I'll have that one instead. Don't know. No, I think I'm going to stick with those two for the 2 blue ones, I think. Okay, so does that make sense to everybody? Is everybody still with me about how you choose which colours to go with which cards? If that all makes sense, give me some thumbs up. Yep, good. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So we are starting out by making the set of 4 cards, and 1 piece of A4 cardstock is going to make 2 cards, okay? But you will also need 2 pieces of patterned paper for 2 cards. So we'll do 2 at a time. I think that might be easiest. Okay, so first thing you need is your trimmer or your cutting device. And I am going to, so what you want to do is score the A4 card in half and then cut it in half as well. So I'm going to score it in half with the short side at the top. And if you score it in half with the short side at the top, you're scoring at 10.5 centimetres. And just make sure that it is obviously the scoring tool that you're using and not the cutting tool, which I speak from experience. You can imagine I have done this. And then if you're going to then cut it in half, it's 14.9 centimetres if you're cutting in half. So if you're scoring in half with the short side at the top, it's 10.5 centimetres. And then to cut it in half with the long side at the top and give you 2 card bases, it's 14.9 centimetres. Obviously, if you want your cards to go the other way around, then you can use those measurements in the opposite way for scoring and cutting should you want to. Okay, so that'll give you 2 card bases, which you can then fold over, and with a bone folder you can just crease those. So just fold them over and crease the spines of those. So there's your first two card bases. And then you're going to layer up your 2 pieces of patterned paper on top, whichever side you've decided. Oh, look, there's another choice there. Look, oh, I quite like that one too. I might choose that one instead, actually. That's really nice, isn't it? Perhaps I'll have that one and that one, I think. Yeah, so you've got your 2 pieces of patterned paper to also cut now. So that next size layer is going to be, on the short side, it's going to be 9.9 centimetres. And with the long side at the top, it's 14.3 centimetres. So 9.9 by 14.3. Have it that way, I think. These are really quick, easy cards to do, but when you've got patterned papers like this, which we often have in our in Stampin' Up catalogues, we often have really stunning, really beautiful papers. I just, think that it's a good idea to kind of showcase the papers really, and just really make the most of those patterns. And especially if you want to make a quick birthday card or a get well card or something like that, then just using the papers, letting them speak for themselves is just lovely. Okay, so I'm going to just stick those flat down onto the card front. Just whatever your adhesive of choice is. I like Stampin' Seal because it's nice and quick. And you will have a little border around the outside of your patterned paper. So just line it up so that you've got an even, as far as possible, even border around the outside of your card fronts. I don't think with this paper as well, the other nice thing about it is I don't think there's particularly any kind of right way up or anything for it. So you can kind of choose the corner that you like the best, the corner that you like the colour of the best, and kind of put that against the spine of the card or whatever you want to. You can kind of lay it out how you want to, really. Okay. So that's 2 card bases done. And then you're going to go back to your kit and grab out your butterflies. So this is the bit where it gets a bit fiddly, because you'll have no doubt have lots of pieces in the bottom. And any other kind of bling or die cuts or punch shapes or whatever you've got from your own stash. So get those white bits out of the way for the moment. Whatever you've got that you can use, really, that you want to use. So you will find with the butterflies that you've got, they've been die cut, and the little pieces should pop out quite easily, but you might have to just do a little bit of fiddling, just a little bit of encouraging to get them out, because I did not want to spend, I can't tell you how many hours it took me to die cut everyone's kits this month, because there was an awful lot of kits and an awful lot of butterflies, which is sometimes quite a fun activity to do. But by the end of the afternoon, it was one Sunday afternoon, a rainy Sunday afternoon. Oh, we haven't had very many of those lately. Yeah, gosh, my hands were killing me by the end of it. So I was not about to go through every kit and then also pokey tool out all the little bits of the butterfly. But anyway, if you're adding butterflies or shapes like this, what I tend to do is give the wings a little bit of a curl, just really gently with my fingers, and then I will just find the centre of the butterfly on the back of it, so the body and the head of the butterfly, and just stick that bit to the card. I won't be worrying about sticking all the wings down and making it all flat, because even if it's going flat in an envelope, that doesn't matter, because the wings will just fold down flat against the card, so you don't need to worry too much. So I'm just going to add a little dab of glue to the centre of the body and the head, stick that down, and then find some coordinating bling from my stash to add a bit more interest on that card front. Like I said, this is all about completely letting the papers speak for themselves. I'll just do one of mine, I think, for now. So, Evan, if you want to use my spare butterflies, feel free.
What's this, please?
So, yeah, let's just go over the measurements again. So the card base is half of the short side is 10.5 centimetres, half of the long side is 14.9 centimetres, and then for your layers, your pattern paper layer is 9.9 centimetres by 14.3 centimetres. Shall I write that down in the layer? That would be sensible, wouldn't it? If I can find a pen. What have I done with my pen? You know, somewhere there is a pen here. There was a pen here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is my standard layer sizes. So 14.3 centimetres by 9.9 centimetres. So if you craft with me a lot, get used to those numbers, because that's my standard layer size, to give just a nice even border around the outside of the card front. Okay, so I am now going to start rummaging in my stash of random bling and see what I've got that might match. Oh look, there's some very old pink pearls. They'll go nicely on there. And again, I am not going to be too precise about this. I'm just going to randomly shove some on till I'm happy with them. And probably what I will do with this card, because I'm not going to stick a sentiment on that now today, but I've left a space, excuse me, I've left a space at the top here where the pattern is a little bit less intense, where I would then put my sentiment. So I know where my sentiment will go when I get to the point where I want to send that card. But I'm not going to put the sentiment on now until I know that I want to send it, because then if it's a, you know, hello friend, or if it's a birthday, or if it's a get well soon or whatever, I've got the choice then of what I want to put on it. Or you can just even make the pack up, because you're going to have 4. You can make the pack up and give them as note cards or something if you want to. And then these cards with this size will go in standard size C6 envelope. So easy for posting as well.
How did you stick them down?
The butterflies.
Yeah.
So the butterflies, again, Evelyn's just asking how do I glue them. So I just put some glue behind the body and the head of the butterfly, so that you can, hopefully you can see there, the wings are still free floating. So if you are lucky enough to be able to give this by hand to somebody, then your wings can be flying free across the card. So, like I said before, you've got 4 to make up. You've got plenty enough papers and cardstock to be able to make 4 of these. And you will have a few butterflies to be able to put on them, but you can add anything extra that you want to from your own stash as well. And some bling and some sentiments. And then you will have a pack of 4 cards. So that is our first project. So I'll just leave you to do a bit more maybe on those, and we'll go for a raffle prize, shall we? Let's go for, just leave that one there. Right, so in your kit also, amongst all the little bits and pieces, you should also have a raffle ticket. And today we've got 3 raffle prizes. Let's find my box of tickets. So the rule with the raffle is even if you're not here, if you're watching this on replay, you can still claim your raffle prize, but you only have a month to claim your raffle prize. Okay, so the prizes that were not claimed from last month have gone back in the draw for this month. Okay, so we've got this month, we've got 1 pack of mini glue dots, which are also brilliant for sticking the centres of the butterflies down, by the way. We've got a reel of metallic edged berry burst ribbon. This is actually currently in the clearance rack online. It's about £2.50 or something a reel at the moment. Normally retails at £7.50, I think, a reel because of the metallic edge. But this is one of the brand new colours. This is one of our new returning colours in the new catalogue. So that's a head start for anybody that wants the Berry Burst ribbon. And then we've also got some Petal Pink ribbon, but this is called, it's soft polyester ribbon. It's almost furry, the ribbon. It's bizarre, but you can also colour this as well. So that's quite generic and quite unique. Okay, so get your raffle tickets at the ready. And prize number 1 is number 193. So if you've got number 193, now's the time to shout and also tell me what prize you would like as well. So we've got the Berry Burst ribbon, the Petal Pink ribbon, or the mini glue dots, number 193. If you're 193, shout now. Will I have a quick slurp of my tea? And if number 193 is not here, then I will stick it on my camera stand till the end and then allocate it a prize. But if you've got 193, shout now. No, it's all gone very quiet. Okay, I'll stick 193 on my camera stand. Oh, Marion, fabulous. Can you have the glue dots? Yes, absolutely, you can have the glue dots. Wonderful. Right, let me write your name on there. Now I've got tape all over me. Brilliant. Oh, that's good. I do love it when it's somebody here who wins. Brilliant. There we go. Glue dots, they are yours, Marion. Wonderful. Okay, let's put those ribbons to the side and we'll do another raffle prize in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to leave you to be able to finish the rest of the 4 cards yourself, because you might need to rummage around in your kit, in your stash at home. You might want to have a think about what colours go with what and all the rest of it. So I'm going to leave you to do those ones on your own. And we're going to go for card number 2, which is this one. So you're going to need your piece of die cut patterned paper, and you're going to need to decide which side you're going to use. Which side are you going to stick down? Okay. And then you need a layered sheet, so a sheet to act as the layer. So in my example, it's the pale crumb cake colour is the layer. So you need something to have as a layer. And you're going to need an actual card base as well. So I've picked out of my patterned paper the 2 colours that I want to use. And I'm just going to put it on the dark background because I think that shows up better than on the yellow background. So that's going to be the dark is going to be my layer, and then the yellow is going to be my card base. So that's what you need to start out with, is just work out which way round everything's going to be, okay? And just the same as before, so that's going to be layer 1. Layer 2 is going to be, I've got to remember to work this out now, 9.3 centimetres. And this will be 13.7 centimetres. So let's start with the card base in the same way that we did just now. So you're just going to score it in half and cut it in half, okay? And that will also give you another card base for those 4 cards in that first project as well. So Evelyn's got the scoreboard in a minute, so we'll have to hang on a moment while Evelyn scores hers. But yeah, so you're going to be scoring scoring it halfway and cutting it halfway to give you 2 card bases again. Okay. I hope that's sharp enough. That seems to not be too sharp on my screen. Oh, there we go. Camera's caught up with me. Right, okay, so thank you, Evelyn. So for this one, I'm going to do it the other way round actually for this one. So I'm going to score. So this will stand up like a tent fold card for me. So I'm going to score at 14.9, and then I'm going to cut it at 10.5. This is all in centimetres, obviously. And it'll give me those 2 card bases. There we go. So I'll get rid of one because I'll find some patterned paper to go on that one for my first project. So that's given me my tent fold card, and then I need to cut down my layers. So my first layer is going to be the dark green layer, but actually, that's going to be the first layer that's going to go onto my card base. But actually what would be easier is if I could stick this onto the patterned paper first and then cut around it. That makes it an awful lot easier. So if you turn it over, and you'll see that there are big sections of pattern that have got more paper in them. Those are the bits that you want to add little glue dobs to. And then stick it onto your paper. And before you stick it down, you also obviously want to cut it to size, because otherwise you will end up with all of that on your patterned paper, which you don't necessarily want. I mean, if you don't want another border, you don't want the 2 border layers. So if you look at mine, I've got 2 layers of border on mine, then that's great, but you don't have to. In fact, let's do that. Let's just stick it down flat and see what that looks like. Oh, Evelyn's got the glue. I have to hold on a minute. This is the trouble, you see, crafting with family. They nick all your stuff when you want to use it. But I'm sure she'll be not too long. Thank you. Right, so I'm just going to stick the glue on just little tiny dobs on the sections that I can see that have got quite a bit of paper still to them. So not every single one, just a few across the whole sheet, but just so that it will hold it in place. Now, obviously the alternative, if you had this this die set yourself, then the alternative is that you could have stuck your patterned paper to the lovely adhesive sheets first, and then you could die cut the pattern out. Which you can do with any of your kind of complicated dies, and it will just give you a much easier way of kind of gluing it down and cutting it out. So if you die cut this yourself, it's probably better to stick it down to an adhesive sheet first. Okay, so I'm just going to, because I'm not going to cut a border out of this one, we're going to give it a try and see without a border. So we just use this lovely card as background instead. I'm just going to stick that down, and I often do this as well when I've got a complicated die. I just turn it over and then smooth over the top so that the glue has really got time and a chance to kind of adhere and stick without any kind of creases in it and things. There we go. And then I'm going to cut that out. So because I decided not to go with the 2 layers, I'm going to just cut that out to the first layer size. So it'll be 14.3 by 9.9. So I'm going to start by cutting the card. Because it's piece of A4, I'm going to cut that in half first. So I'm going to just cut that down to get that second side out of the way. And again, I can use that for another card base. Okay, and then let's see, what am I going to cut down first? So You need a starting point, don't you, when you're cutting out a frame. So we'll go with, actually let's go with this side as my starting point. So a little bit of a twist on it, but not too much. Right, that's my straight edge that I'm going to start from. So I want 9.9 along here. So I have to mark my way around, don't I? So let's go this way around first. 9.9. There we go. I have to move that over to 10 actually, so it gets a bit more of the pattern in there. There we go. And then I just want to finish it off by cutting this last bit, and you will find you get lots of odd little bits of border there. So 14.3, there we go. So that's just trimmed up. Got a bit stuck in my trimmer now. Trimmed up the edges, and then I can just layer it on top like that. And again, it's just letting the paper be the star of the show, if you like. You don't need to fuss too much when you've got pretty paper like this. You can just let the paper be the focal point of the card, really. So let's just stick that one on. You could use 3D if you want to, or you can just use glue or tape or whatever you want to use on here, whether you want it raised or flat or what have you. So I think I will use just flat glue on mine. But you could use 3D strips if you wanted to, or dimensionals if you don't have the strips. Again, I'll just open that card base out so that I can put it on and make sure we've got a nice border, even border all the way around the outside. There we go. Ooh, she says, sliding it around. Hold on, let's get that on. There we go. And again, I'm just gonna press it down from the back, because there's that of the lovely die cut pattern. If you press it down from the back, it stops your fingers getting caught under any random bits of the pattern that are not stuck down flat. And then all I would do with this one is let's bring in the original one. I'm going to add a little bit of bling here and there, and also add a sentiment, probably either top left or bottom right, for whatever occasion this card ends up being sent for, really. So be really interesting after tonight to see what sentiments people use, what bling they've got, what extras they're adding, because everybody's is going to be so totally different, which is going to be lovely. So let's have a look and see what I've got. So I have got some yellow glossy dot assortment dots. So I think I might put some of those on, accent the yellow a little bit. Some of these dots I find fit really well as well inside the centres of some of the flowers. So that gives you kind of the random places to put them, which is quite handy. Oops, that one's got a mind of its own. Dashed away. And it's also really good when you've got random bling to be able to put on, because it will cover up any bits of glue that's coming through the holes as well. So if you stick a dot on top of a bit of glue that's peeking through, that will cover it up for you. So, and go with my usual rule of thumb, which is odd numbers of bling, not even numbers of bling. Where else am I going to put it? I'm going to put my sentiment will go down here eventually, so I'm just going to leave space for that and add a couple more random bits. Odd numbers is what you see in nature. That's why we go for odd numbers of bling. So it makes it look more natural and meant to be. There we go. So that's my card number 2. Again, I'm not going to add a sentiment until I know what I'm going to send it for this one. I've got my sentiment ready. I've got a happy birthday all ready to go on the first one, but not on the second one. I'm just going to leave that. So now that you've cut into those 2 pieces of card, you've got 2 more bases ready to go. So you've got the other half of the tent fold that you scored. So that can be one of your bases for the first project that we did with the 4 cards. And this second one that I've cut the background layer out of just needs scoring in half. And that'll give me another card base as well. So I may as well do that one right now while I'm here. Get the cutting blade out the way. Just want to score it at 10.5. There we go. And then I've got my second card base. So that gives me all 4 of my card bases then ready to go. So I just need to go back to my patterned papers again, have a search through. That's quite a nice one for the green, I think. And don't forget, all these papers are 2-sided as well. So if you don't like the patterns that are on one side, don't hesitate to turn them over and see if there's something you prefer on the other side. I quite like that actually, with the purple and the blue and the pink. I think I will probably use those too. Okay, so I'm going to put those to one side so that I know that those are the papers that I'm gonna go with. Like that. And then you should have lots of patterned papers still left, or 2 or 3 sheets left that you can do whatever you want with then. Yeah, and also don't forget you'll have the strips that you cut off as well, so you can do some scrappy strip cards with these ones. You can cut them up into blocks and do sort of 4 blocked cards. If you cut these strips kind of 1/3 and 2/3, then you can always flip the designs as well and mix and match them. That makes quite nice designs as well. So go wild, get creative with them. Okay, so while you are finishing that one, let's have another raffle prize, shall we? And then we'll get on to our main card of the evening, which is our technique cards. Okay, so good shake. So we have got, let's find one. This one that was tucked away on the bottom here is number 195. Isn't that funny? It was number 196 last time, wasn't it? 195.
It was 193 last.
Was not 193. Sorry, apologies, Evelyn. I can't remember. Yeah, so 195. Who's got number 195? And if it's yours, do you want the petal pink? It's almost like a suedette kind of ribbon, or the berry burst metallic edged ribbon. Which would you prefer? Let me know. And I will put some washi tape on it for you. Just let me know which one you want. And hopefully it's somebody here. Shout now, or I will stick the number on my camera stand. If you can't decide, just tell me that it's your number, that's helpful. 195, anybody up for grabs? Nope, okay. We'll stick that one on the camera stand and we'll come back to it later. Okie dokie, right then, so how's everybody getting on? Let's have a quick check of where everybody is. If you have done this second project and you're happy to move on, give me some thumbs up. And if I don't see any thumbs up, we'll hang on for a moment while people are finishing off. I'll just move that away from the layer measurements as well so you can see the measurements. How have you got on over there, Evelyn? Oh, she's got a whole display at the end of the table of all of her cards so far. Brilliant. That's good then. I haven't got any thumbs up, so we'll hang on a moment and just give people a chance to kind of catch up. Oh, 195 is me, fab. Oh, Jodie, I'm really sorry to hear that. Her Facebook keeps crashing. Right, 195. Would you like, Jodie, would you like the Berry Burst Metal Edge ribbon, or would you like the Petal Pink suedette kind of ribbon? Which would you prefer? Okay, yes, says Audrey, and Sheena's got a lovely face with stars, so I guess that means that you guys are ready to move on, which is brilliant. We'll just hang on while Jodie, actually let me write your name on the ticket, that would be quite helpful, wouldn't it, really? While Jodie decides what, oh, the peachy coloured one, yeah, Petal Pink, yeah, no problem at all, okay. Jodie, there we go. The Petal Pink is yours, and Jodie, I don't know if you caught earlier on, when I was at the very beginning, I was just saying that the coffee club packs for Stanford in the Vale are here and ready to be collected. So if anybody, any of your family or friends are over this way, and they could just let me know, then I'll get them out ready. I'm here tomorrow all day, but then I am away over the weekend. And that might be just a bit too much for Darren to be able to work out while I'm away. But I'll be back again on Monday. So if anybody's coming over this way, let me know. Cool. Okay, let's put those cards to one side then. So that is our first two projects completed. So that's you won't have finished necessarily all of them. I certainly haven't. So you've got your kit of 4 cards, your pack of 4 cards, and you've got the one that we've just done with the die cut patterned paper. Okay. So, our main projects for the evening is these 2 cards, which, believe it or not, we are going to make at the same time. Shock horror, I know. And that is because the technique that we're going to use is a masking technique. So you may be able to see now that I've kind of got them both side by side. If I hold them up to the camera a bit better, you might be able to see, but you've got a white die cut layer. So this has been inked with the blending brush, but at the same time it's inked the plain white layer that I put underneath. So in your kit you will have a patterned paper, no, a die cut white piece of card, and you will have a plain kind of A5 size piece of card. Thanks, Jodie, that's brilliant. So you've got those 2 things. So we're going to need both of these for these cards, and you're going to need all of this card. So yeah, it's not that you're only going to use half of it, you're going to use all of it on the 2 cards. Okay, so let's just put these to one side for a moment. The first thing you need to do is you need to cut the piece of plain white card, which is A5 size. You need to cut it in half along the long edge. So that needs to be cut in half at at 10.5. Let's get it right. Cut it in half at 10.5 centimetres. So that you've got 2 pieces, okay? You just give the cutter to Evelyn a minute. So you've then got 2 pieces and a die cut piece, okay? With your die cut piece, you've possibly again got some little bits that are still stuck in there. So this is the time to kind of get rid of those, poke them out. Sometimes we leave a few kind of loose bits of die cut in, but for this particular technique, if they're not actually stuck in the back, if they've been die cut all the way through, if you're using your own, I know sometimes die cuts don't always come all the way out, depending on your machine and your the dye that you're using and stuff. But you do need to poke out all of the little bits. So just spend a couple of minutes just poking out all of the odd bits of die cut that might not have popped out of your piece of card yet, because you don't want them to pop out at a later date and then mess up your ink pattern. So I'm just going to use my pokey tool for some of these round ones because they're a bit more difficult to get out, just because they seem to, I don't know if they've got static in them or what, but they seem to hold stronger to the edges of the card. So it's just worth spending a moment and going over the whole piece of die cut, the whole die cut sheet, and poking out all of the little bits that you've got. And if you've got the die brush, which I know a couple of you have, then that's even easier to be able to get those bits out and get rid of all those bits. You don't want any of those. Get rid of those into the bin. Okay. So one of your pieces of plain white card you can put to one side. Don't need that bit for the time being. Put that to one side. You just need one of your pieces of white card and your die cut layer. Okay, and then you also need some kind of blending tool. So Evelyn and I are using blending brushes and a couple of ink pads, 2 or 3 ink colours, whatever your preference is. Oh, Evelyn's got one of the die, but I was just looking for a blending brush and Evelyn's got it. So you want some coordinating colours that are going to match with whatever base cardstock you chose right at the beginning. Okay, so for us, we're using Orchid Oasis and Fresh Freesia that are both in colours at the moment. And we're using Soft Sea Foam as well to give a bit of a pale kind of greeny colour. Okay, so you're going to take one ink pad at a time. If you've only got one blending brush, then just use the palest colour first, and then in between each colour, you don't need to wash it because that will make it wet and that won't help with your ink, but just blend the excess off on some scrap paper. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put them neatly together, your die cut layer on top and your plain piece of card underneath. Okay, I'm going to try and do this on a flat bit of my table because I have actually got my light stand underneath my checked paper, my graph paper. So I'm just going to put that there underneath. And what you want to do is, obviously you don't want this to move while you're doing it, so just put it down nice and firm, but make sure that you're not going to be moving it. Then you're going to open your ink pad out, and like I said, starting with the lightest colour, if you're only using one blending brush, just grab a bit of ink. And if you're using daubers, you can do the same with daubers as well. Grab some ink on the end of the blending brush, hold your die cut firmly down, and you're just going to put a few dabs here and there. So I usually look, if I'm going for the green, I'm going for my leaves for the green. So rather than petals, I'm going to colour the leaves in with the green, and just going for a couple of sections, that's all. And don't forget, you want to get all those bits, all the spaces in between as well. And that's why the blending brushes are just so brilliant for this, because they will get all of those intricate little spaces in between, as well as that top die cut layer. But you're just going to randomly select a couple of bits, couple of places across your die cut sheet to just colour it in and blend that colour right in. The lighter colours will need a bit more effort. The darker colours you won't need to press so much with them. Go right over the edge, over the border as well, because you're going to cut this out eventually to mount on the front of your card. So you're going to want a bit of border to be able to stick it down. Okay, there we go. Then, so I'm going to swap with Evelyn. I'm going to give you the green and the green brush, and I'm going to use the Fresh Freesia next. So same thing again, just hold it down and go right over the top of the first colour that you put down as well. So don't be afraid to blend those colours together. Even something that doesn't feel like it goes together, like the pink and the green, don't worry about that. Just blend it out over the top and you will see that they will go really nicely together. So I'm just going to work out now, where am I going next? I'm going over here, I think, next. Just make sure you're holding that page down firmly the whole time, because you do not want it to move underneath, so that you get that beautiful negative image of the dye afterwards. And just keep going, just keep blending, adding more colour, more layering, more depth of colour, right over the top, you know, right up to the edges of the colours that you've added. I'm hoping this isn't going to move. It's quite difficult to do underneath the camera stand. So, and make sure it's not moving at the same time. So just keep going until you've got that kind of the colours that you want and the tone that you want, and just add some more until you've got the kind of pattern on the top that you're looking for. And then when you get to the point where you've finished all of your colours and you're quite happy, then just go over the top with your cleanish, if you clean your brush off, and just blend together any edges, any kind of sharp looking edges that you've got. Okay. Can I share that that darker colour? Thanks. Obviously you can, you know, add more depth and cut of colour by adding more layers as well. So if it's not to start with the colour that you're looking for, then do not worry, just keep going over the top until it becomes the dark colour that you're looking for. Always best to start with kind of less is more kind of approach, and add more depth of colour as you go if you're not quite happy with it. The pinks and the blues together layered look just absolutely stunning. And what I love about this technique as well is even when you use the same colours, each card that you do will come out completely differently because of you know, you colour them in a different area, in a different way. If your stencil starts on the top, starts moving, your die cut on the top, then just, you know, just slow down a bit and just go back and go over those layers again. And then, like I say, once you've got colour over everything, if you just wipe the brush off as much as you can on your scrap paper and then just go over the whole thing, just blending in any bit. You don't want any bit of white card underneath. You don't want any bit of white card on your die cut layer, but you also don't want any kind of white patches showing through underneath either. There we go. And then the moment of magic occurs when you take off. Ta-da-da! Look at that. I love it. Absolutely love it. And these are going to be your 2 card fronts, which is just brilliant, I think. I absolutely love this technique. It's so fun. So there we go. How's yours doing, Evelyn? Oh, lovely. Look at that. Can I show? Show and tell. So Evelyn and I have used exactly the same colours. This is my stencil, if you like, and my die cut layer, and my relief image underneath, and then these 2 are Evelyn's. Totally different. I love it. It's just brilliant. Just brilliant. So yeah, really cool. Even with the same colours, you can come out with a completely different image second time around. So anybody who's crafting as they go along, tell me what you think when you take off your die cut layer. Are you happy? Is it a bit of a surprise when you take it off? Does it look better than you ever anticipated it would? Do you like it? So when you get to that point, you'll remember that we had a spare piece of white card, and that is going to go underneath your die cut layer. Okay, so that it really pops. We want it to stand out from the card. So that is where that one goes. Great, and so easy to do. It is, isn't it? Isn't it brilliant? I love it. And you can do this with any die that you've got in your stash, so or punch shapes really. But if you've got any kind of intricate dies like this works so brilliantly. Okay, so you're going to stick the die cut layer on top of the white spare bit of white card that you've got, in just the same way that we just stuck that piece of patterned die cut paper down. And then you're going to cut these 2 to size. So you've got your layer sizes there. Layer 1, 14.3 by 9.9. And then finally, you're going to stick them to your card front, and then add any bling and any sentiment and anything else that you want to do. So Evelyn, can I just use the trimmer while you're gluing a minute? Thank you so much. So again, you can, if you've saved one sheet like we did of the Orchid Oasis, then you can cut 2 card fronts in one go, because they're going to be the same. They're going to be the same card bases, rather. They're going to be the same colour, aren't they? So I am going to score at 10.5 on the short side, and then I'm going to cut at 14.9 on the long side, and I've got 2 card bases. There we go. Just fold those over and crease them. And fold and crease. 2 card bases. Oh, she's cutting the wrong way. Don't worry. You just she cut instead of scored. Turn it around and score. If you do one at a time, they'll be more accurate.
Oh yeah, because it won't score through 2 anyway.
No, it won't score through 2. Okay, so I'm going to do some gluing while Evelyn's rescuing her trimmed card base. Never a craft disaster, only a crafting opportunity. Oh, it's much more difficult to see where the solid bits of card are on white for some reason. Don't know why that is, but it is.
Then do we just stick this down onto the card?
Yeah, so you might want to trim your layers up to make sure that it fits on your card front, but yeah, you're just going to mount that on the front of your card. Need some bits on the side here so it'll stay put when I stick it on. Gosh, I can't believe it's so much more difficult to see where you need to glue on a piece of white card. Maybe it's because of the camera. I don't know, with it being so bright. Right, there we go. Stick that down again. I'm going to do exactly the same as what I did before, so turn it over and give it a good rub from the back, so I don't stand any risk of lifting any of those beautiful die cut delicate little flowers or leaves or anything. So give that a really good rub. There we go. And then I just need to trim those down, and one's going to go on the front of one and one's going to go on the front of the other. Let me bring in my finished cards as well. There's my 2 finished cards. Let's put those over there so they're not on top of the layers. So all I've done is added a little bit of ribbon folded behind the back. And I don't know if you've got ribbon in your kit or not, actually. I think you have, but I don't have in mine. Yeah, so you've got a couple of bits of folded ribbon, or you might have a long strip that you can cut in half and fold behind whatever your sentiment is, or you can wrap it around, any of the usual kind of ribbon techniques that we use, just to add another bit of dimension to the front of your card. And my sentiments are punched and then they're raised on 3D pads. The other thing I haven't added on these yet, but I will do, I think, is some bling. I'm going to add a little bit of bling. The one thing I do think about these cards is more is more on these ones. I think more bling, more interest, the better. So yeah, that's all you need to do for those, is just trim those front pieces up. If you've got any spare layers left, you can add another spare layer if you want to. That one's got a layer on it. This one doesn't have a layer on it. So if you've got any coordinating card that you want to add another layer, you can. Whatever you choose to do. The other thing that I didn't mention actually about these dies as well, let me just go back to the catalogue because it shows you in the catalogue. So on the first page of this suite, on page 14, you've got loads of project examples here. But if you look at this one, the happy birthday card on the green card in the top right hand corner here, you'll see that actually the die has been trimmed. So it's been cut out. So instead of having the white or the framed border around the outside, as you see in the bottom right hand corner one, they've just cut the flowers out of the die. So all that is just making a few little cuts around to kind of release the flowers, if you like, so that you get that uneven flowered edge, which is also quite pretty and quite a clever thing to do that you can do with fancy dies. Excuse me. This suite is carrying over to the new catalogue, Fancy Flora, and you'll see there are beautiful stamps, layered two-tone stamps that go with it as well, and you've got some extra dies in this set that cut out those stamped flowers and leaves as well. The only downside of not getting it before the end of the month is that it will not be available as a bundle in the new catalogue. So when we bundle a stamp set and a die together, or a stamp set and a punch together, you get 10% off the price. So bundled savings up in the top corner here, instead of it being 76, is that right? No, yes, 76, no, £59, sorry. If you bought the stamp set and the die separately, it'd be £59. So if you buy it from the new catalogue, it will be £59. If you order it before the end of the month, so by Sunday evening, it's only £53 because you get 10% off. So that's the advantage of buying it when you see it the first time around, if you like, rather than waiting till it's in the next catalogue. Okay, so I'll leave those two there for a moment, and let's do a final raffle prize, shall we? Okay, let's see. I have no idea what numbers these are. It's number 192. Who's got 192? Your prize is some beautiful berry burst metallic edged ribbon. Gosh, wonder if we could have a full house tonight and have everybody who's won a prize actually be here. Ah, Sally, fantastic. Gosh, that's the first time in ages that everybody, now I can't find my pen. Oh, there it is. Everybody that's won a prize is actually here live with me. That is so exciting. That's brilliant. Sally, fantastic. You've won the Berry Burst Metallic Edged Ribbon. Lovely. From the new colours. Fab. Okay. Right then. I'll leave those there for a moment. And I'll bring in, let me just bring in the other projects so you can be reminded. Let's have that one. And the 4. There we are, 4 cards. Is that right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's right. So bring those projects in. Okay. What else have I got to show you? I've got a couple more things to show you actually. So this one, the bonus project, like I say, with the floating panels in the middle, I will put that on the YouTube channel, and I will send an email out notification to let you know when I've filmed it. Like I said, I've got everything all cut ready to go. I just haven't got round to actually doing the filming yet, but I will do the filming for that one. There's another little one I wanted to show you as well, and that's this one. So even if you don't have the lovely patterned papers, the dies mount up so nicely when you just put a really bold colour behind to make them pop. So that's another, just something different that you can do with the dies as well. So another idea there. Okay. Right, let's just turn the camera around, and then I promised you I would show you the new catalogue, and let's just turn that around a minute. Hello. Yeah, I promised you I would show you the new annual catalogue, and I am going to. So, where is it? Let's find it. There it is. So, are you ready? Ta-da-da-da! I am only legally allowed to show you the front cover, but there it is. That is the front cover of the new annual catalogue. You'll see there that lovely pinky colour, that is the Berry Burst, and that is one of our returning colours. So it used to be an in colour a few years ago, and that's coming back. You've also got this one here, which is Boho Blue, which is really pretty. This pink one here is something like, hang on, let me see if I can remember what it's called. It's either Bubblegum or Bubble Bath Pink, I can't remember. But it's replacing the baby pink that we used to have, which was Blushing Bride. And it's much nicer, I think, much nicer than Blushing Bride, personally. Let me just have a quick look and tell you what it's called. It's called Bubble Bath. Yeah, so this pink is Bubble Bath. Then we've got Lemon Lolly, which is again really, really nice. And then up here, you've got a couple of returning colours. So I know, Amber, when you watch this back, I know you'll be delighted to hear that Pretty Peacock is back. And I can't remember what that green one's called. That one is, hold on, bear with me. Lost Lagoon. So those of you who remember when we had Pretty Peacock, we had Lost Lagoon as well. So some nice returning colours, and as well as things like the Lemon Lolly, some real brand new ones as well. So that's the new annual catalogue. Oh, I can't wait for you all to get hold of it. Obviously, as well as the new returning colours and brand new colours, we've also got the in colours. So many colours this year. So for those of you who are a bit new to Stampin' Up, every 2 years we get a new set of in colours. So we get a new set every year and they last for 2 years. That's a better description. So these are the colours for the next 2 years. They are earthy, kind of metallic tones, I would say. So this one is kind of earthy and brassy. This is more of a gold bronzy colour. These two are really pretty. And this one is kind of like a slate kind of colour. Really, really, really pretty. And you'll be able to see the glossy dots that we all loved so much from the annual catalogue. There's glossy dots in loads and loads of colours this year, including all the in colours. So there you go. So that's cool. Yeah, so let me just check and make sure there's nothing else I was going to tell you about. Okay, so yeah, if you can all have a think about whether you intend to come to the catalogue launch and the bog off sale or not, and if you are intending to come on May the 13th, please let me know, because if I don't get very many responses, then I'll move it online instead, and then people can watch at their leisure. What else? May Card Club. So this card club at the end of May will be using all brand new colours and all brand new product as well. And there's going to be some, because of the new project, there'll be some more new techniques as well, including probably a shaped card, I'm thinking. So that will be really fun as well, because we haven't done one of those for a very long time. So that'd be really nice. And yeah, I think that's it probably, actually. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you've had fun. I hope you've learned something new and feel kind of inspired to go away and be creative. The new catalogues will go out to people. The envelopes, the delivery envelopes have literally just arrived this afternoon. So as soon as I can get them bagged up after the weekend and get them sent out to everybody, I will. And if you come and collect from me, then I'll get them ready for you to collect as well. Okay, thanks for joining me, everybody. Take care. Good night.